Welcome to the next episode of Next Creators podcast. Today we have Artur from Somnium Space with us.
Hello. Hi.
And for listeners who are actually not able to see the video, we actually see Artur from the virtual world, which is like really cool. It's the first episode of this kind.
Literally from Somnium Space.
Is it your own like a penthouse there, or?
Yeah, this is my waterfront parcel, and I've built a small cabin here with a fireplace. Unfortunately, you don't hear the crackling sound, but it's there. And I've built this because we've recently, a few weeks ago, introduced the random procedural weather. So sometimes there are rains and sometimes there are thunderstorms. And when there is raining, you can see the drops on the water and also on the glass. And when there is thunderstorms, you can see the lightnings out there. So, and this is the perfect cabin to just sit and talk to friends and just enjoy the weather. So that's why I built this on one of my parcels.
That's awesome. Sounds good. Well, maybe we can start briefly talking about your background, and then we're gonna probably spend bulk of the episode today talking about Somnium. I was wondering, to begin with, to go a little bit back, how did you transition from a career of a trader into like entrepreneur? Is it something that you've been considering for like longest time, or how did you stumble into this?
That's a great question. First of all, I've been always into virtual worlds, since 1999, since I was a kid. Ultima Online started it all for me, and then Second Life and stuff. But I've always wanted to be a trader, or let's say as long as I remember, when I was starting to choose the university, I wanted to be a trader. And then, because trader is one of the most freedom containing job, because you have your own freedom to decide. You take positions, you decide what you do. So you're kind of in the team, but you're also kind of on your own. And I like this about that a lot. So you take the responsibility and you see the result of your actions. So that's trading. And so I kind of always, my parents were entrepreneurs and are entrepreneurs, and I always wanted to be one. Not that I had a goal, but I just felt it like that. And then I had a chance to start a company inside the energy utility corporation where I worked as a trader. I started the company, then I sold the company, and that showed me, among other things, the way of how companies could be started. I learned it the difficult way, from scratch. Nobody showed me anything, so I had to learn it. And when I sold that company, and it happened that at that time I had a first experience in virtual reality headset, and that just changed my life, because that literally showed me that everything I dreamed about, everything I read about in the science fiction books, actually is possible. And that's what led me to start Somnium, because I wanted to build a world where everybody will be, living, existing, and here we are.
And what was the VR headset that you used, the first one? Which year was it?
So it was 2017, if I recall correctly, and it was not the first, but it was HTC Vive, a pre-production kit they were showing off to the press. So I forced myself into this. I was not in the press, but I just forced myself into the demo room, and I agreed with some people. I said, "Look, I need to try it out," and they gave me 15-minute demo, and it just blew my mind, because it was the first headset which had full room scaling, with full body tracking and everything, and I was just blown away. I literally went out of this room. I was absolutely hypnotized. So that was my first experience.
Mm-hmm. And what happened since then in terms of VR? Because I have some friends who work in NVIDIA, so through them I know a little bit about the space. I know that there was a big kind of business happening on enterprise, to the extent that some of the companies, like what you mentioned, HTC, actually decided to kind of move away from consumer. So how do you think about consumer VR and where we are now since 2017?
Oh yeah, it made it tremendous. My prediction was in 2017 that within 5 years, headsets will become, from that moment, the headsets will become much cheaper, and also many people, or majority of people, will have their headset on the table next to their mobile phone and stuff. So we're almost there. So I said at that point, I said 5 to 7 years. So we're almost there. Good VR headsets right now cost $300, $400. They can work without PC as a standalone headsets. They have a resolution of over 4K, which is so much pixel density that your eye cannot even see the pixels anymore. You can stream them wirelessly. You can play them wired to PC. So I think we're well established in the mainstream hands. And the numbers of headsets which are being sold is growing with double and triple digits numbers per year. So yeah, I think VR industry is doing well.
Mm-hmm. And on the content side, how do you think also about the consumer content? Is it about virtual worlds and games, or is there like other things that are happening as well?
Well, I think it's more about the games right now. So let's say one of the most successful headsets on the market is Oculus Quest, and Oculus Quest is predominantly about the games, great games, by the way. So that's what that's what people do. There are some business applications. They're in a big minority right now, but the amount of applications is growing. So yeah, right now it's games. Not even too much about the worlds yet, but it's about the games. And what we are trying to do there, what we're doing here in Somnium, is that you exist in this world, but also you can transition into the game and experience the game without leaving the world. So in one persistent, in one persistent universe. So,
how do you think about like virtual worlds? Like, what is virtual world? What is appealing for you today about those that exist, including yours?
There is not so many, to be honest, because for me, virtual world, it has to have several components, such as, it has to be persistent, it has to be live, it has to be in VR, it has to be with the real economy. And yeah, once you combine all those things, you get this feeling of presence. Like you saw the moon going below the horizon, you see the water. We'll see the sunrise soon, actually. So if I turn my camera there, you will see the sunrise coming out of somewhere from that side. So that's the virtual world. That's the world where you can be immersed into something, and your brain believes that you are there. In terms of non-VR worlds, we've been there in 1999 already. I think humanity's, pretty fast coming to a point where it's already, we're past the 2D non-VR experiences. Because once you try this immersive experience, it's literally hard to go back. So for me, virtual worlds are highly immersive environments which are persistent, which are live, and you can communicate and socialize with people and interact economically with them.
Mm-hmm. And then kind of closely related to this, there is this idea of metaverses, and people talk about metaverses, they're like, it's gonna happen someday. From your perspective, pretty much it's already here, right? It's more like not evenly distributed.
Exactly. 95% of what Ready Player One movie showed, we're doing in Somnium every day. Like I'm talking full body tracking. I'm talking live conversations. I'm talking concerts. I just came from the concert. We had a concert in the city center, a live concert in VR with acting. People were acting as different avatars, characters, and stuff on stage live while the singer was singing. Racing with NFT cars, art, disco nights, treasure hunts. Everything is here. So we are living it through. It's just, as you said, it's not evenly distributed, but more and more people discover us, and more people discover this technology. So that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And what are the types of activities that are the most popular today in Somnium?
Definitely concerts, discos, galleries. So recording podcasts like we do. People talk to the artists. People explore the art, and also just hanging out. Like people literally love to come into Somnium and just relax. Maybe climb the mountain, look at the sunrise. Let me show you the sunrise if I'll be able to. Yeah, you know, level of immersion, you have to open the door. So you have to open the door like this. Let me climb here and I'll show you. Yeah, here is the sunrise. So there you can see the sun, and you can see the volumetric lighting behind the the sun. So yeah, people just come in and they just relax. I parked my car there on my VIP parking on my parcel, but they just come and relax. They just want to talk to each other or just be alone, look at the beautiful landscape and relax.
Huh. And do you at all spend any time in other worlds, or you pretty much spend all of the time in Somnium?
I do sometimes go to virtual reality worlds like Altspace, VR chat. Randomly and very rarely I visit some events there, but mostly just to check out or test something or whatever. But very rare. Like 99% of my time I spend in Somnium with our community.
Mm-hmm. And how do you currently bring community into Somnium? Is it fairly like organic process in a way that people discover it and join, or is it a lot of lifts that you're doing day to day, or some kind of like marketing campaigns? Like how do you think about bringing people into Somnium?
We don't do marketing campaigns to bring people into Somnium. Everything what is happening in Somnium has happened organically. We have a daily meetup in Somnium. Except of me when I had a COVID for a few weeks, I've not missed a single daily meetup for more than a year already. So I'm here every day with community. We do all kind of things, and everything. What happened to Somnium so far was organic growth. We didn't spend time and money on any special advertising campaigns.
Mm-hmm. And for the community today, would you say majority of the people are in a VR version of it, or quite a few people actually using the web browser version of it?
Yeah, so majority is using web browser version of it. So we have run about 1,000 to 2,000 people per day are using web client, and run about 100 active users are using the PC client. In the PC client, it's 75% and more are in VR. On the web client, I'd say 10% are using VR version of it, and 90% are using either mobile or PC version of the web client.
Mm-hmm. And the reason is because some of these people, a lot of these people just didn't get onboarded onto VR yet.
It's just easy. I mean, I sometimes use the web client as well. If someone shares with me the link and says, "Hey, look what I built on my parcel," I simply click on the link and go there and have a look, walk around, and then if I like what I see, I just remember that I want to visit that parcel in Somnium later on in VR, because that's what ultimately I want to see. That's the final destination. Until you experience it in full VR in Somnium, you didn't properly see it. You get a taste in web client, but you didn't see it until you put your feet into this world here.
Mm-hmm. And how do you think also about the navigation side of it? Like, is it today like an open world, or is there like more like routing through the parcels, and that's the main kind of way people navigate?
Oh, differently. So it's an open world. We're a persistent open world, but people navigate differently. They use teleportation hubs, they use cars, they walk, they glide. So you can climb something and you can glide. So I can show you. Wait, let me try to show you there. Yeah, I can. So spread my arms. Right. So people can glide, and people use different types of transportation. But yeah, right now, because we introduced cars recently, they drive a lot. So they hop in the car and they just drive from one side to another.
You mentioned very briefly earlier about games maybe creating like a more like very engaging experience directly in the world. How do you think about creating experience where people can continuously coming back to Metaverse, so having more of this like returning users, everyday users? Is it more about like introducing games and businesses, or something else? How do you kind of, in a way, like move from the place where majority of the people kind of hanging out to the place where they're like continuously engaged there, or it's not even a goal?
It is a goal. I mean, they are continuously engaged. It's an organic process, right? Because right now we have events. People are engaging during the events, but we also roll out very soon Somnium Worlds, and Somnium Worlds are are completely separate NFT instances owned by people where they can build scripted, highly scripted environments without almost any limitation. So that could be businesses, casinos, interactive experiences, anything you can imagine. And those experiences will be, it's kind of like a game in the game. And that's what will drive more people, because it will be arcade halls, right? People will be coming back to play those things, to visit those worlds, explore those universes, and kind of like a next level of growth. And that's what will bring people back, of course.
Mm-hmm. And also, how do you think about like a blockchain part of this? Is it the kind of economy part of this? This is how like economy side of the world facilitated, or?
So blockchain is a very important part of it because of ownership, not only economy, but it's an ownership thing, right? You own, first time in history of gaming and in history of open worlds, you can own truly things you have. Like this avatar is NFT. This avatar is in my MetaMask wallet. No Somnium Space, nobody can take it from me, right? And that's a very powerful thing. I can sell it to anyone I want. I can transfer it to anyone I want. That person will be able to instantly use this avatar in Somnium Space, right? And the car is NFT as well. Like that car is an NFT. So once, and this parcel is an NFT, right? So once people realize they can actually first time ever own things, and they are in control of their own possessions, that's a very powerful realization. And because this realization happens, they finally start to, they take it as they're not afraid to buy things, right? They because they know they can either sell it later or they own it, nobody takes it from them. Very, very, very important thing. So that's one of the most important parts. And of course, yes, having a decentralized economy, it's one of the pillars, which is important for such a world to exist for the next maybe 100 years.
Mm-hmm. Because it's by definition, it's kind of like borderless. There is no like single kind of like country owning this world or anything like this. It's like
correct. It's decentralized. It's borderless. It brings interoperability into the game. It brings a lot of concepts and a lot of things, use cases to actual to actual economy. And it creates the creator economy. Creators create, and other consumers consume. That's the blood of the world, like that.
Mm-hmm. And also, maybe you can mention a little bit about land-based NFTs, like what they are, how they will evolve.
Yeah, I mean, every land parcel, every building you see there or here, it's an NFT. So people buy land parcels and they gain control over a building on it, and they can build whatever they want. And they can utilize the parcel however they want. Again, they can sell it anytime. They can transfer it to anyone. That's the beauty of this. You can even have the smoke coming out of the chimney if you do it. There we go. Yeah, so you can utilize parcels any way you want, and when it brings utility, then suddenly NFTs are have value, because without utility, NFTs is useless, or NFTs are useless, right? But suddenly, when you have the value, when you have the use case, when you have something to do on it, it can be useful to you. You can do this podcast in VR. If you have your own parcel, you can build your own studio in VR. You can have a green screen, keystone you live within VR. You can have a mock-up suit or like trackers and have full body tracking, what I'm doing right now, for example. That is a use case, and it's useful to you, so you put value on it.
Yep. And who are the people who are usually building structures in the virtual world? Is it like artists, architects? Like, is there a particular skill set that lends to people being really good at this?
Not really. Our builder is designed in a way that even my 8-year-old son can build on it, and he's doing it actively. But most of the people are creators or people who want to have their own piece of land, right? So if they don't know how to build, they just hire someone from our community, and those people build because we have a lot of cool architects who are building for other people. But yes, it's everything from crypto artists to companies to individuals who want to have their own family gallery. Like I think this gallery, this building, is the family gallery of one of our team members, or not team members, the of our users, community members. And he's built this gallery. There are several layers, and he basically will put his pictures of his family. They will meet there. Yeah, different reasons from different people.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And how do you think also about the kind of metaverses, multiple metaverses? Do you think there has to be a one kind of in the future, or it will be several, and that's completely normal? That's how it will evolve.
There won't be a one. There will be several different ones, and so the metaverse is the constellation of different worlds. It's not one world. There will not be a place, because of the transition of how everything is being built right now. There will not be one company which will rule them all. Where the world is moving away from that, and not because the anti-monopoly governmental agency will tell that. It's because the Web3 applications and the technology is moving away from that. So Metaverse is the constellation of different worlds and different experiences. We as Somnium, we of course want to be the world of choice when they will when people will be deciding where to go, or their first place, kind of like their home, their virtual home. If they will be choosing their virtual home, we want them to be here. But there will be many different metaverses in the future.
That makes sense. And do you also think that VR becoming mainstream is one of the necessary requirements for Metaverse to become a reality? Sounds like that's correct, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's already a reality, right? So it's very, very real. It's much more real than many people think, and it's actually here. I mean, you can even have the Bitcoin temple here. If you want to pray to the Bitcoin gods, you can do that here. Maybe today it was. I'm pretty sure today this place was packed. People needed it. But yeah, jokes aside, it's very real.
And also, how do you think about the uses of buildings in the future? Like, do you think that besides buildings being galleries or places for people to meet up, hang out with, do you see any creative, kind of like interesting use cases in terms of like how buildings are used?
I mean, look at this gallery. It's called the box, the cube. Look at this, for example. People use it for very, very different reasons. As I said, it could be a hideout for someone to hang around. It could be a gallery. It could be a business headquarters. In the future, with more utility, people will just use more buildings for more use cases. But I cannot even anticipate what use cases people will bring. Right? It could be company presentation or a podcast. Anything, literally. Hard to even imagine, and that's the beauty of it.
Yep. And also maybe you can mention a little bit about the product releases that happened recently, because I know that you mentioned briefly about the weather changes. You also mentioned the cars being part of the world. What are some of those like things that happened recently that changed things fundamentally?
Yeah, I don't think they changed fundamentally. They changed things incrementally a lot. Let's call it like this. It's not like fundamental change, because there's a lot of work coming in and a lot of features coming in every week. I mean, we've made NFT cars drivable in Somnium, so you can drive those NFT cars. The weather is very, very realistic. It rains, it can snow when it's winter, it has wind, thunderstorms, all this kind of stuff. It's all random. We don't know when it will rain, and it's all the same for everybody at the same time. So we experience one shared experience together. Teleportation hubs. We are launching two huge features, which are Builder SDK and World SDK, and this is revolutionary because once people will start deploying their NFT worlds in Somnium, this base reality world will become kind of a base reality, and then people will travel to different universes and and experience different things. Monetization, all of these things are either already here or coming very soon.
Yeah, it sounds like the velocity of the product releases you have is like pretty insane. How big is your development team today?
We are 10 people. We're growing. We're onboarding new developers as we speak. So the plan for this year is to double the size of the development team. And yes, we're like machines. We're trying to release features for Somnium Web and Somnium VR client every week.
Wow. And I guess last piece I wanted to also touch briefly on back to blockchain. What are the technologies in terms of blockchain do you use? Is it just blockchain kind of like Ethereum, or is it also decentralized storage like IPFS-like technologies? And also, what's your plan on that front?
It's a combination. So we are a virtual reality platform. We are a virtual reality platform with a decentralized economy with an ownership on blockchain. Right now, we're running on Ethereum. But the plan for this year is to allow people to interact with NFTs and currencies from different chains, right? And Near is part of the plan. We are introducing Layer 2 from Polygon as well. We'll probably, allow people. In general, our goal is to allow people to showcase and transact within different blockchains in Somnium. We don't want to limit anything because this is the world people want to exist. They should be able to transact in the digital currency, in decentralized currency of their choice, and we will make it happen.
That's awesome. And also for the listeners, what kinds of things you want to kind of mention for our listeners?
I think you have to realize what virtual reality is, and you have to try it. Don't think that when you look at a movie like Ready Player One, don't think it's a sci-fi which is 50 years away. No, it's happening today. I know many people don't even realize what is possible and what is virtual reality capable of, and they think it's so hard or they think it's so expensive. Actually, it's not. You just need $400 headset, and you don't even need a PC at some cases. But if you want to have a full immersive experience, you would need a PC, a gaming PC, but I mean, under $2,000, you can have a full kit and you will be fully immersed in VR and you literally will have no way back. So my encouragement to the listeners is don't be lazy. Don't think that just a 2D experience on the screen is enough just because it's the most comfortable thing. Try to push you a little bit out of the zone and try the new thing, because once you do, you will literally see the future. So I would encourage people to do that, and even watch the video of this interview. I'm not sure whether the video will be released, but if it will be released, just watch the video of this interview and you kind of realize like, oh my god, okay, that's what is possible already. So I probably should try it.
That's right. And let's say somebody purchased like Oculus or some other like affordable headset. Where do they go next? Is there a particular parcel or particular map or particular event where kind of like a good place to start?
No, they just download from somniumspace.com the client, the PC client, they install it, and then they connect the headset, and they go to VR, and they will hop into the city center, and they can go explore, or they can come to the daily meetup, which is at 10 p.m. CET every day. Or even better, start with our Discord. It's discord.gg/Somnium Space, and you would just, our community would help you right away to make first steps in our metaverse.
That's awesome. Well, thanks a lot for coming today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.